Today on the Changeville podcast, we're talking to Big Sam. Big Sam is a world-renowned trombonist from New Orleans. Sam has been performing professionally since the age of 19 and got his start in the legendary brass band Dirty Dozen. He has toured with such musical legends as Elvis Costello and Toussaint. Sam now leads his own all-star funk band, Big Sam's Funky Nation. Sam's incredible energy on stage creates an environment that feels equally as much of a party as it is a concert. Big Sam's Funky Nation is wild, fresh, diverse, and continuing their mission to spread live funk across the country. We're honored to have Big Sam on the show today. So how are things going for Funky Nation in 2017, Sam?
Oh, so far so good. Lining up our tours and, constantly growing, working on a new album right now that we're trying to get out sometime this year. And, everything's looking good, man. We just keep trying to push forward,
Awesome. Excited to hear that new stuff. So I guess we'll get into some Changeville-related questions. So Changeville is all about starting conversations about current issues and evoking social change through art. So what do you feel is the musician's role in the conversation about social change today, and how does that kind of apply to you?
Oh, man, well, I think the musician's role is to, bring joy to people, no matter what's going on in the world, make people happy, make them dance, make them have a good time. So you don't have to worry about all the issues that we have going on in the world, That's like your escape go-to, so when someone gets elected who you didn't want to get elected or, they're passing some laws that you're not for, or, even like things like racism, which, we all deal with on a regular basis, sad to say. But, that's where music comes into play. It allows us to get away from that, from the real world, and we have our own world that we create and we get to live in.
Right,
so I think,
right.
As a musician, that's what we're here for, to get people's minds off all of the bad things that's going on. Not that, not saying ignore it altogether, but, it can also influence change. So, you want to use your music to send a message as well. That, you don't need to be a racist, or you don't need to, be sexist and things like that. So, just look out for one another and treat somebody, treat the person how you want to be treated. And I think, you can do all of that through music.
Right. So generally, kind of distraction from everything going on, but also sort of shedding light on things.
Exactly.
Well, those of us at Changeville took a particular interest in your involvement with, I'll name just a few of these organizations here. The Better Than Ezra Foundation, Tip Tina's Foundation, Music Cares, and Thomas Toussaint Foundation. Can you tell us a little bit about how your involvement with some of these organizations got started?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Each one of those organizations, they would hit me up and, say, okay, for example, Tip Tina's Foundation, hey, Sam, would you donate your time, or would you help us support this concert that we have going on? So we'll donate our time and get kids into music and help get them instruments, help the marching band in New Orleans get new band uniforms and things like that. Some of the other organizations, is to bring awareness to different types of cancer and things like that. So it's all across the board. We just want to make people aware of everything that's going on and help raise money for all these different organizations that need help, and make people aware of what's really going on in the world.
Right. And in particular, in the case of the Better Than Ezra Foundation, that's kids right out of New Orleans. So that must be incredibly rewarding for you. Is that something you relate to there?
Oh yeah, it's great, man. I played with Better Than Ezra this past. Well, I'm always playing with them these days. Yeah. But we did a show at Jazz Fest, and we had these kids come out, and they were singing Juicy with us, and they just killed it. So, in front of thousands of people, you got these kids, come from a pretty hard background, but they get to come on stage perform at Jazz Fest. And then, some of these kids now, they want to be into music. They want to be musicians. So now they have something to look forward to in life other than, thinking that they have to do whatever on the street. You don't have to sell drugs. You don't have to be out there living that life. You can be, something else other than what, society makes you think that you can be.
Right. And that's a really early start. Because we're talking, elementary school age kids, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, hell, so 6, 7 years old, So, that kind of, inspiration is what you want. You want the kids to get look at you from an early age, you know.
Right, right.
Otherwise, that's my dog. Otherwise, you know, they need role models, you know, more than what they see on TV, you know, more than everybody blinging out and things like that. So when you get them up on stage and, you know, you get them to you know, see a different perspective on life and like what they can be doing, and they really love that and they appreciate it, man. Like those kids after that show, they were like so like excited and you know, they were just so loving. They came like hugged all of us and they didn't want to leave, you know, but we had a good time and it really, you know, it touches me to know that, you know, we can touch kids like that.
Yeah, and that's especially special because, you know, coming from a similar background, I mean, you were a musician in New Orleans, and, I mean, you got your start pretty early on, too. I mean, I know that, you know, from reading online that you started professionally gigging at 19, but did you ever perform as a child, too?
Yeah, well, yeah, I got into it once I was 15 years old, but I was on the street playing for tips and things like that, and, you know, in New Orleans, that's kind of like how you really, really get your start, you know, even before school. You know, you learn because you go out on the street and you learn how to entertain people. And, you know, then most cats just take it from there. But I actually went to school and, you know, learned what I was playing and why things were, you know, I just learned how to, you know, the theory behind music and how to analyze certain things. So for me, you know, it really hit home, though, because, you know, you come from a upbringing where you realize, you know, you're in a hood. You don't have much. And then to be able to play music and, you know, get out of those situations, it's a beautiful thing, man.
Right. So did you actually go on to study music theory and sort of things like that in school?
Oh, yeah. I went to a school called NOCA in New Orleans. So it's called New Orleans Center for Creative Arts. And, you know, all of the greats went there from, like, Nicholas Payton, you know, Wynton Marsalis, Terrence Blanchard, myself, Harry Connick Jr., like everybody, like, attended Christian Sky. Like, everybody attended the school, went to Pierce because it's for the arts, you know. And, you know, I learned all of my theory there. You know, I already knew how to read music, but they really taught me how to dig deeper into the music and, you know why, you know, you have certain forms and why things are meant to go certain ways and why things are not meant to go a certain way, you know. And in addition to that, we also learned that, you know, everything that's correct isn't always right, you know, just because it might, you know, on paper, you know, theoretically, it sounds like it'll be correct, then that's what you want to do. You can do something else. So, yeah, you know, once you go into school and they teach all of that kind of stuff. Then I also went to UNO for a year, University of New Orleans, and there I was, you know, under the direction of Elvis Marsalis. And you know, they just get you right, man. They make sure that you know what you're talking about, you know what you're playing, and you know nobody can really call you out on anything because you know what you know, and you know what you know is right.
So I guess when you were going to school, your instrument for performance and performance classes was, of course, trombone. Was that your first love, or how did you, like, when you initially started playing, was that just sort of the most readily available thing? Did you start on trombone?
Yeah, it was not. I started out on trombone, and I was, you know, in middle school when nobody else wanted to play the instrument. I just asked the band director, I said, what you need somebody on? He said, the trombone. And I asked him, what's that? He was like, oh, all right. He said, okay, this is a trombone. I said, okay, cool. So I went home that day, and, now, you know, like instantly I developed a love for the instrument. First thing I played was like Wild Thing. Bum, 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 bum. And then I started playing Saints, just all by ear and naturally, you know. Didn't know anything about music, and, you know, just my lips and my wrist, you know, my slide, it just brought me to those songs. I don't know how, it just happened, you know. Yeah. And then, you know, and then from there on, I just, you know, God's been my baby. And I play all lower brass instruments, you know. I could dabble on piano, you know, stuff like that, but trombone is my main thing.
Yeah, yeah. And then piano is always a good foundation for theory, I've found. So that's like, you know, makes it easy to understand bass clef, understand treble clef. So I'm sure that's something that you had to do, you know, in school eventually. Oh, yeah.
If, you know, anybody that's coming up playing music might look, learn the piano. Once you do that, man, everything will be so much easier and so much simpler, you know, for you. It's just so much easier because it's all right there in front. It's like, oh, okay, cool. All right, this is this chord, this is that chord. Okay, goes back to that one. Okay, cool, no problem. And then, you know, you just apply that to your horn. Even doing that, what you got to really love and appreciate is like a drummer who knows music, you know.
Oh, my God.
Because they're not just a drummer. So you can say, okay, look, we want to go to the bridge and we'll do 2 5s and then we'll go through these hits and, you know, turn around back to the one. You know, all right, cool. And they understand. It's like, oh, cool. No problem, you know.
Yeah, no, I definitely know that feeling when your drummer is actually actually really understands music, and you can tell him what's going on in the song, and you can say, yeah, yeah, not.
Exactly.
Or you can write a part out and hand it to him instead of making drum noises with your mouth to get the
Exactly. You know, I mean, and it's always cool to, you know, I mean, of course, you know, we all have that natural, you know, we can play by ear and we can understand, you know, we understand it that way. But if you can just like tell them what it is, or, you know, and they're able to comprehend it, it's like, oh my God, this is what's up, you know. So yeah, it's cool, man.
Yeah, and I'm guessing you have that relationship with all your guys and Funky Nation, right? You know, you're all like on that same level. It's just easy to go.
Oh yeah. I can like say, hey man, we're gonna do this, here are the changes, and vice versa. They can say, okay, let's try this and whatever, and you know what? And then we're there. It don't take all day to like figure something out, you know, because we're all on the same page.
Yeah. I mean, how is as far as songwriting and things like that? Is that something that you usually take the head on, or just these things kind of just come out of jams and stuff?
No, well, what I like to do, you know, if I have some ideas, I'll bring it to the table and, you know, ask for everybody else's input. If they have something they want to add to it that they think that fit into the song, if I don't have the song completed, or if I have it completed and they want to, if they say, hey, this might work better, then we go ahead and do that. You know, I'm not that kind of cat where I'm saying, nah, it ends here with me. Like, I don't like that. So that's not happening, you know, or this is what I wrote, so we're going to play this no matter what you think or say, you know. I like to, you know, I mean, we're a band, so I like to get everybody's input on whatever we're going to do. So if I write something, somebody, you know, come up with a cooler version of what I have, I'm like, you know what, that's hot, let's do that. You know, like, I have no problem doing that. And vice versa, I tell them, look, if y'all have some material y'all want to bring to the table, you know, bring it on. And the cats that bring something, oh, that's cool. Let's rehearse it. Let's get it to a live show. Let's make it happen. You know, and that's how I like to operate with them.
And like what I've seen so far from your guys' concerts, just online and everything, I mean, the environment of it is you know, just as much a party as it is a concert, or maybe even more so. So I mean, when you're playing these songs, do they kind of take on different forms live when you kind of just get jamming on it, and you know, these extended versions and things like that?
Oh yeah, totally. Because you know, when you write something, you know, that's just the foundation of it, you know. But then when you perform it live, it just takes, you know, becomes a whole new monster, and it's like, oh, dang, I had no idea it was going to go there, but you know what? I like that. Let's keep doing that, you know. Or, you know, some nights when you're just feeling extra good, it might go some other places that you never intended you to go, you know, and that's the beautiful of improvisation. You just get out there and you vibe with each other, you know. But, you know, we write songs and we play them, and it's like, all right, cool, yeah, that's all right. Then, like I said, you get up on the stage and it might become something else just because, you know, when you're live, you have the energy of the crowd, and it's just different than being, you know, locked up in a room and trying to vibe out with each other. You know, you get on that stage, you got the crowd screaming and they're rocking out, and, you know, they got the lights going and all this stuff, the sound is banging, and then you're like, oh, then everybody starts feeling something else and go somewhere else, and, you know, it just becomes a real cool thing.
Yeah, and I mean, that's all part of what you guys call Nolodelic power funk, right? I mean, that's
exactly
what that's
is. Exactly
you know,
what it is.
Different genres coming together and sort of changing like that. But I mean, like, for those who aren't really as familiar with your guys' sound, how would you describe Nolodelic power funk and like kind of where it came from?
Well, it came from you know, most of my major influences, which are, you know, Prince, Mars and Time, the Gap Band. You know, you have Chocolate Milk, you have the Neville Brothers, the Meters. You know, and then of course you got like Dirty Dozen Brass Band and the Rebirth. All, you know, so all of these, you know, different styles of music, you know, just like all my major influences, especially P-Funk. You know, P-Funk, Prince, are probably like my top two, you know.
Yeah.
And that vibe pretty much just came from there. I'm like, you know, Funkadelic, shit, we're Nolodelic, you know. Like, let's, you know, and that's just the vibe of it, you know, because, you know, any given moment we can, like, you know, go ahead and just play one song for 15 minutes and have, like, different movements in it. We're not just going to stay on the same part for 15 minutes, and, you know, it's going to have different movements and variations of it, and we're all going to be on the same page and know what's coming up next. So that's where that whole name came from. And it's always hard, like hard in your face. People always are like, man, you guys come out the gate and just crush it, you know? We're like, yeah, man, you know, like, why wait for the party? Let's come and give it to you, you know? And every now and then we'll lay back a little bit, but not too much. It'll lay back and build up, you know, and then just hit you, pow, and just like, yeah, and then, you know, I mean, that's what we like to do, and we have a good time doing it.
Yeah. You'll throw a ballad in there, maybe something in 6/8, and then just go right back into the dance grooves, just right.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, well, going back to, because I think you mentioned Dirty Dozen there. How did that gig come about for you?
I was super lucky.
Yeah.
Let's say that. Yeah, man. I have this friend named Stacey Towns, and she's E.T.'s daughter, the trumpet player for the Dirty Dozen, Ephraim Towns. And we all went. We were in high school together, not the same school, but we knew each other and went to the same church. And she had her sweet 16 birthday party, and I was hanging out, and in her room she had like CDs of Miles Davis and Dizzy Gillespie, Louis Armstrong, Charlie Parker, John Coltrane. And I was like, "You're into jazz?" And she was like, "No, that's my daddy." And I was like, "Oh, who's your daddy?" And she was like, "Ephraim Towns." Now keep in mind when Dirty Dozen was like my major influence, like from New Orleans. Like from the first time I heard the album called "Ears to the Wall," I was like, I want to play with that group or have my own group, like at the age of 15. So here I am now, 16, and then she told me that I said, "Oh, Ephraim Towns." I'm like, "Man, that name's familiar." We didn't have the internet back then, so I couldn't just Google him.
Yeah.
So I'm like, "Ephraim Towns." She said, "Yeah, he plays trumpet." I said, "Trumpet?" I said, "Well, who?" She said, "Dirty Dozen." I said, "Oh, Lord." I was like, "Where is he?" And he was home for his daughter's birthday because they travel, still to this day, 300 days out the year. So I kind of dished the party and rapped with him for the rest of the night. "Hey, dude, what's happening? What's happening?" I said, "Hey, man, how you doing?" I said, "Look, if you ever need a trombone player, call me, man." And he said, "All right, dude, I'm gonna call you." He's like, "I'm gonna call you." I said, "All right, cool." So fast forward a few years later, I was working at Jazzland, which was a theme park here in New Orleans. And I was performing there, doing like 8 to 12 hour shifts, just because it's the summer in New Orleans. I just graduated, wasn't nothing to do, but I'm getting paid for playing music, no problem, And then while I was on a gig, he called me, hey Sam, dude, it's E.T., man, what's happening? I said, "Hey, what's happening, man?" He said, "You ready to go on the road?" I said, "Yeah, what's happening?" He's, "All right, dude." I said, "When we leave?" He said, "Tomorrow." I said, "Oh Lord." I said, "Tomorrow." He said, "Yeah." I said, "All right, cool." I said, "How long we going for?" He said, 3 months. I said, "Oh." I said, "Okay, let me call my mom and make sure it's okay." So I called my mom, and the rest is history. I played with those guys for 4 years, man, and that was just an unbelievable experience. Still to this day, I love those cats to death. They really showed me, what road life is like. I went out with them, and one of the first shows we did was with Widespread Panic. We was in Houston, Colorado. It was like Dirty Dozen, Widespread Panic, and Stanley Jordan. We just show up in the mountains, and I'm 19. I have no idea what's going on out here. I'm new to this. I thought playing music, you play some clubs and you play some festivals, but Widespread Panic is huge. So they had all these people come to this little they had all these people come out in the mountains just for them, and I was like, "What? This is real?" So, but nobody was out there. I'm like, "Man, what we doing out here? Nobody out here, man. What's happening?" And then, man, Showtime came around, had 20,000 people out there, and I was like, "What the hell?"
Oh my God!
And it was so crunk, man. I was like, "Man, this is what I said. I want to do this for the rest of my life." That made my mind up. Yeah, this is what I want to do. And yeah, man, the rest is history. So I played with those cats a bunch. Government Mule, just a whole bunch of bad cats. Dave Matthews, a lot of those bands were just awesome and really, helped me make up my mind on what I want to do for a living. Even though I was doing it at that point, but they really made me make my mind up. The first time I heard Carl Denson and Tiny Universe, that they just blew me away. I was like, "Oh my God." I said, "Look, when I start my own group, I'm gonna have that kind of name because I like that whole Tiny Universe,
Yeah.
And that's how I came up with Big Sam's Funky Nation, the actual name of the band, because of Carl's group, that name just, it inspired me to name it something along the lines of that. But it was cool.
Dang, that's just your first show with them was that huge show with that.
Yeah,
I had no idea. That's crazy.
Yeah, it just smacked me in the face, and I was like, "Man, now keep in mind we drove from New Orleans straight there,
right?
So it was, we were on the road for 20-something hours. I'm like, man, when are we going to get there? Whatever, and we get there and there's nothing there, and I'm like, this is crazy, man. Why are we out here? Whatever. And then Showtime came around, we rehearsed some Superstition and Guilty Splinters and all this kind of stuff, and Showtime rolled around, man, and it was packed out there. People screaming, going crazy. I couldn't believe it. That was new to me.
So these were the guys that kind of, because I mean, at this point you were performing, you were wanting to do this, but these were the guys that made you realize, like, okay, this is feasible. I'm going to do this for a living.
Yeah, like I didn't know it could be this big.
Right.
I mean, just keep in mind, I'm a little kid from out the hood, so I didn't think, music was this. I thought, you play your little festivals, and when I say little, in my head, Jazz Fest wasn't as huge. Like New Orleans Jazz Fest, to me, was a festival, and that's how it was all across the world. Like, not thinking that this festival was like so huge, and people come from all over the world to see this festival, because I've been seeing jazz since my whole entire life at this point, But it wasn't until after that I realized how huge Jazz Fest even was. Like, man, this is crazy, So, that really, helped me make up my mind on, like, hey, man, I'm gonna start my own group too, and do something like, do this kind of thing. This is cool.
Right. I have kind of a difficult question for you, but after that story, I think I might actually know now. Who is your favorite New Orleans artist, and how have they shaped your career?
Man, I gotta say Dirty Dozen.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the Meters, man, and I love the Never Brothers, and I've been listening to their music for years. But for me personally, Dirty Dozen were the ones that like really inspired me to even like take music seriously. So, as bad as that, Dr. John is bad, Alan Toussaint is like amazing.
You got to play with him too, right?
Yeah, I played with Alan for 10 years because after I left Dirty Dozen, this was 2004 now.
Mm-hmm.
I left Dirty Dozen just to pursue Funk Nation full time. I started the band, a couple years before that, but we were going like, a weekly at the Funky Boy club that was here in New Orleans. But, I was out with the Dozen 300 days out the year, so I was only making a couple of shows a year. And it became with them, like, well, who's Big Sam? Who's Big Sam? And people come out to see. Then I started getting some, like, local festivals here in the city. And then, 2004 came around. I was like, man, I need to focus on this thing full time. Otherwise, I'll never really get it off the ground. So once I made that decision, told the Dozen, I was going to leave to do my thing full time. They didn't like it, but they were cool. They understood what was happening. So I said, all right, cool. We're still family. And like Roger Lewis always tell me, hey, Sam, once a dozen, always a dozen. So even still now, if they playing somewhere, I can go and like hop up with them and just roll all night. What was I talking about? Yeah, but the Dozen, man, they just like really, really, really like inspired me to do this thing. And and I love them for that.
What are you listening to these days? What do you listen to for inspiration, or what new music kind of keeps you going?
Everything, man. Everything from like hip hop, trap music to like your classics by P-Funk and Prince, Mars Day at the Time. I listen to some Living Colour. Then I go ahead and listen to like some Chili Peppers and Pantera, and I mean I'm kind of all over the place, and I just make my own little, like I draw from all of those different styles of music, and then come up with my own little thing, And once again, that's how Noladelic Power Funk was formed. It's all of my influences, all my major influences. And then this is my take on all of the music that I love in my life.
Right. I mean that certainly makes sense then, because Noladelic Power Funk is such a blend of like so many different things. I mean, you mentioned like the Meters, very groovy, kind of laid back funk, but all these other bands and some of these rock groups you're talking about like that. Yeah, these influences definitely make sense with your guys' sound for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, like, you play like a Meters groove, but then you got like a slight rock edge on it, so the guitar's real dirty, So it's just, it makes it a little, it makes it different, because Leo probably had like the, Leo Nochatelli with the Meters, had probably, most likely had a clean sound on his guitar when he was playing all these parts, and then, you play a part similar to that, and, you make it real dirty. It just changes the whole vibe and attitude of the song, So, yeah, it's just how I hear it. It's a little different, but, it still grooves and it's still funky.
So I have a few more questions before we wrap things up. This one usually really is a difficult one, so we'll see. What one song do you think everyone needs to hear,
Lord,
and why? And it can be yours or it can be anybody else's, but one song and why it's important.
Oh, man. Matt. Oh, man.
My boss wrote this one. All right.
Oh, man. Tell him I said, nah. I can't do that. You know what? I'm gonna go with a classic, man, and say One Nation Under a Groove, or P-Funk. You know, because, you know, we're all one nation. And when I say nation, I'm saying like the entire world. You know, we're under one groove. You know, we should all come together for the funk of it. You know, we should all come together and have a good time and, you know, live on this earth as brothers and sisters, you know. So for me, that's one song that everybody should listen to and abide by.
Right, right. I mean, is that kind of the message of Funky Nation too? You know, all under, you know, one nation.
Exactly. Under the groove.
I guess my last couple questions here. If a listener to this podcast would want to support the mission of, I guess, any one of those foundations we were talking about as far as New Orleans education, where should they go to do that?
Oh, they go, it's a lot of websites. One is the BTD Foundation. You can do that. You can do Better Than Ezra Foundation. You can do Tipitina's Foundation. You know, it's all online, so you can Google it or just go to, you know, tipitinasfoundation.com, you know, btdfoundation.com. Even if you just go on social media, you know, just Google the things and, you know, you'll see everything right there. So definitely check it out, and you can read all the details about them and, you know, see what's happening. We're even doing another one this in a couple of weeks called the Pussyfooters Blush Ball. And what that is, that's like a bunch of women coming together and, like, you know, raising money for women who was, you know, experience like domestic violence and stuff like that, you know. So, like I said, like these, you know, a lot of these organizations are like supporting a good cause. But, you know, just go online and check out all these things and, you know, help out if you can.
Great. Any last thoughts you'd like to leave everyone with?
Nah, I think we're all good. You know, you want to find out more about Funky Nation too, just check us out on Facebook, Big Sam's Funky Nation. Website, BigSamsFunkyNation.com. You're on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, all of that. Just a little different. It's Funky Big Sam. I'll let your boy. And, you know, hope to see you in the city near you real soon.
Yeah, we're excited to see you guys play at Changeville.
Hey, you have a good one.
All right, thanks so much.
Peace.
Thank you so much to our guest, Big Sam. We'll be back in a couple of weeks with another episode of the Changeville podcast. Until then, check out our website or Facebook page. Our lineup is out now and includes Talib Kweli performing with a full band, Amy Ray of the Indigo Girls, Moon Hooch, David Bazan, Big Sam's Funky Nation, and Big Frida. Tickets are going fast, so get yours now. Until next time, this is Matt, signing out.